player, that's probably one of the positions.
That or catcher.
Well, that and shortstop, it's not uncommon to see, like, those positions batting ninth.
So here's their starting five. Kyle Gibson, we know, because he was a Minnesota Twin.
Long-time Twin.
Koichi Arihara. He was purchased from Japan. He was bought from Japan.
Texas goes into the Nippon Baseball League pretty frequently. So.
Have the Texas Rangers not heard of the 13th Amendment? It literally says purchased from Japan. You can't buy a person. They're fucking racist down in fucking Fort Worth, Arlington area.
Let's use Bitcoin.
So Mike
Fotinevich, I believe.
Fotinevich. Fotinwicz.
I believe this is...
It's who cares? That's what it is.
I believe it's Fotinevich who was with like Atlanta.
Yes, he was in Atlanta. He was a free agent signed this year from Atlanta.
I think Minnesota was looking at him too, but
yeah, they were. I was texting you about him about how he had that.
I think I sent you a gif of somebody yawning or something.
Yeah, it was that open bullpen session he had in Atlanta, and he was like throwing 91, and everyone's like, "Woo!"
Yeah, I think I gave you either like a yawn or like the Larry David. Nobody gives a fuck.
Well, I mean, he was a decent like fourth, fifth starter.
He's a fifth starter, and then we have like Matt Schumacher and guys like that.
So starting pitcher number 4, Ryan Lyles, who gives a shit. Free agent signing out of Milwaukee a couple of years ago, and then Dane.
Are you sure it's not Jordan Lyles?
Yeah, Jordan Lyles.
Oh, I thought you said Ryan.
No,
Sorry.
Jordan Lyles.
I thought I heard Ryan.
I probably said it because I've been drinking, but. Dane Dunning is their 5th starter.
I believe he was sent over from Chicago.
Who the fuck cares?
I think he was one of Chicago's top pitching prospects, and they sent him
Chicago?
For White Sox. Yeah. And they sent him for Lance Lynn.
Chicago, traded by Chicago White Sox in 2020. Yeah, so that would have been the Lance Lynn trade. Look at Erik. Look at this fucking dude over here.
I can't.
I can't
even talk.
You can't.
I'll be wrong, and he's going to correct me.
I'm gonna phrase that as a question.
So the only one worth mentioning in the bullpen is the only one I wanted for the Twins in Ian Kennedy. I mean,
former Yankee, Royal.
He's a non-roster invitee that is now listed as one of their 6 closers. It looks like so, but. I mean, him and Trevor
when they list you as one of 6 closers, it means that even Fangraphs and all these people are throwing their hands in the air. Look, we don't fucking know, guys.
Well, the whole closer as an idea should be gone with.
You should have multiple guys you feel confident in put in any situation.
You
that
put
being
your
also
best
the ninth
pitchers in the best, highest valued situation. So when it's 3 runners on in the top of the 7th or bottom of the 7th, nobody out, you're rolling out your best pitcher to get out of that jam, not giving up any runs.
Every organization will tell you that they don't want that. If they could get a choice, they would say we will never pigeonhole a player into a certain role. However, sometimes it just happens.
You don't want to keep your best pitcher
for a situation that may never happen.
Yeah, in the 9th. You never know if it's going to happen or not.
Because you don't want to look like an idiot here who kept, Chapman, who the only pitcher left in the bullpen is Chapman or Zach Britton, and you just lost the game and you didn't use them.
All right.
Like an idiot.
Moving on to our last team in the AL West is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Their biggest losses is Andrelton Simmons, probably one of the best defensive shortstops in Major League Baseball right now. Probably one of the truest shortstops in baseball because anybody growing up in like the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, Dominican, they'll tell you everybody plays shortstop until you get to, college age ball.
Well, again, a lot of times like these draft picks, they all were shortstops.
Yeah. And then they turn out to be all-star pitchers or all-star left fielders or all-star second baseman.
Trevor Hoffman was a shortstop in the minor leagues.
But Andrelton Simmons is a Carakian that actually is probably the best shortstop defensively in Major League Baseball at this moment. signed with the Minnesota Twins, 1 year, $10.5 million. They also lose their former relief pitcher, Hansel Robles, to the Twins, 1 year, $2 million. They lose another relief pitcher to Seattle, doesn't matter. Minor league deal, doesn't matter. Another minor league deal, doesn't matter.
How about okay? Let's get to their starting.
So their starting lineup, they got David Fletcher at second base.
Very much an old school kind of slap hitter type. So,
and then they got DH batting second, Shohei Ohtani.
Dude can hit.
Yeah,
we don't. Nobody talks enough about. Even when he was had a ruptured elbow ligament, dude hits.
Yeah.
You want to know what they project his slugging this year, Brian?
What?
481.
It's not bad, but it's lower than what I would project it at.
Well, for a guy who's going to be.
Well, again, they also probably have him in as a pitcher too.
Yeah,
so,
they have him as a pitcher.
Yeah.
And so he's only going to play 3 out of 5, 2 out of 4.
We could maybe Sunday is going to be Shohei Day potentially. So
I really don't understand why an NL team doesn't just load up to get him on the team, especially with.
I can see somebody like the Mets do that, or the Padres.
It's always difficult here because they always kind of said well, why doesn't he go to a National League team where he can hit? Yeah, he's only going to hit once every 5 games, and he has to play the field or just be a pinch hitter if you're doing it. Whereas in the American League, you can DH him, and he can get 4 at-bats a game.
Let him pitch 1 game, give him rest after that game, and then let him DH the next 3 until his next start. Yeah, makes sense.
So as opposed to getting 4 to 7 at-bats a week, he's getting potentially 12 plus.
Yeah, I guess.
So batting third, the center fielder, number 27, Mike Trout.
Don't need
just saying. I think all we can say is best player in baseball at the moment.
586 slugging.
Is he a Hall
projection.
of Famer right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
By far, yes.
10 years, all but 1 year, he did not finish in the top 3 for MVP.
Yeah. How many unanimous MVPs? 2?
1. As far as unanimous goes, I don't know. So. Because, again, baseball's a little weird like that, where, you get that one voter who voted for a pitcher.
He's projected 43 home runs.
Oh, being modest.
281 average, which be...
His on-base is probably projected at
421.
Yeah, there you go.
And then 586 slugging. So that's about a 1.1 slugging OPS.
Dude rakes. That's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then at third base, Anthony Rendon.
Dude also can rake.
Projected 280, 380, 501.
Dude rakes.
Yeah, that's hitting and getting on base.
This dude was quietly one of the better hitters in Washington during, that tenure. So.
And then in left field, Justin Upton.
Dude, he can crush a baseball.
Yeah, he crushes it.
If he gets it, if he can get a hold of it.
Well, 229 and a 443 slugging. So, that's
it's kind of like Sano numbers here, where Sano would probably have a higher slugging, but
And then at first base, probably for his final year, Albert Pujols, 20 years service time. Good Lord.
Dude's a legend. So
yeah,
we always forget about this guy in St. Louis was the greatest hitter potentially we'd ever seen.
And he's gotta hit 42 home runs this year to get to 700.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. He's projected 14 this year.
Yeah, just saying he can probably get, if he's healthy enough to even get to 20.
He's got to play another 5 years to get those 42 home runs.
Kind of like an Ichiro. So.
And then at shortstop, Jose Iglesias.
They lost a lot of defense at shortstop. They did get some of it back with that, so not all of it.
I felt like this guy played for Detroit.
He did.
I see trade from Baltimore in 2020.
He came up with Boston, was with Detroit for a while.
Drafted by Boston in September 2009.
Should I just not talk?
No, I'm just saying. I'm validating what you're saying. So, and then at catcher, Max Stassi.
Yeah, he was with Houston.
Yeah, trade from Houston in 2019. And then at right field, former Cub, former Colorado Rocky, actually, Dexter Fowler.
Cub, Rocky, Cardinal.
Yep. And then I'm only going to mention him because he was a former Twin, the Hawaiian Punch, Kurt Suzuki, is on the bench as catcher. And then you look at their fucking rotation. This is where they go to shit.
It's young. It's very young, and there's a lot of possibles. Like, I'll let you name some of them here. So
Dylan Bundy is their projected one.
Actually, had a pretty good year last year.
With Baltimore.
Again, two. Well, no, he was with the Angels last year.
But and then Andrew Haney.
Yeah, a young guy who's, if he can stay healthy. So.
And then Alex Cobb,
again,
old as hell.
Yeah, well, again, like between like Bundy and Cobb, two guys who played in Baltimore. When you play in Baltimore in that stadium against those opponents
with
in that
no
division,
defense.
Yeah, in that everybody kind of wonders, were you that bad or was your situation bad?
And then their projected number 4 starter, Shohei Ohtani, purchased from Japan. These racists, they're buying people. It says purchased from Japan.
Well, they did pay a team to take him.
Racist. And then Griffin Canning,
another young guy prospect of theirs here, needs to be consistent, stay healthy.
He's got 1.2 years of service time. So there's that. And then Jose Quintana. I know that name.
He was with the White Sox for years, got traded to with the White Sox, and then got traded to the Cubs. Sorry.
He was drafted by the Mets in 2006, traded or signed as a free agent by the Cubs in 2021 this year. And then you look at their fucking bench or their bullpen, doesn't even matter. I cannot even tell you anybody.
Well, then don't bother.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys under 1 year service time in their bullpen. Like, good fucking Christ.
All right, well, move it on.
Moving on to the AL East. All right, here we go. Quickly through the rest. The Baltimore Blue Jays in Baltimore. Toronto Blue Jays.
Toronto Blue Jays, a lot of additions and a lot of potential on that team.
So they got George Springer from Houston.
Marcus Semien from Oakland.
Marcus Semien is projected their starting second baseman. Bo Bichette, their shortstop.
Dude's awesome. That's all you can say. So
you can fucking rake.
He can rake, and he's got probably some of the best lettuce in the league.
And then
make a Star Wars night after him.
Some guy named Teoscar Hernandez and right.
Teoscar Hernandez.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first.
Yep.
Lourdes Guerrero Jr. in left. Kevin Biggio in third base.
Biggio.
Mm-hmm. Rowdy Tellez as a DH and Danny Jensen at catcher. Who fucking knows?
This team is, again, lineup has a lot of potential.
And then Hyun-Jin Ryu, one of the leaders in WAR last year.
Pitching WAR is very hard to determine. So
as their first starter. And then Ross Stripling, Steven Matz, Tanner Roark, which I've heard of before. Mostly from Oakland, and then Anthony Kay, don't know shit about him. So moving on to another shitty team, probably projected last to finish in the AL East, Baltimore Orioles. And
rebuilding, I believe, would be the correct word.
Rebuilding for a while would be the correct.
Well, now they can. Well, again, when they cut all the payroll and stuff here, then they can actually start it.
Literally, I'm yawning because this roster puts me to sleep. Cedric Mullins in center field. Trey Mancini.
Did just recover from cancer, so,
Long-time Oriole at DH. Anthony Santander,
yep.
Ryan Mountcastle.
Yep. One of their top prospects.
Love that last name, Mountcastle.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Chance Cisco. Who?
Catcher.
Austin Hayes. Mikhail Franco.
Yep.
Freddie Galvis. And Ramon Urias. Cool. And then
potentially we'll see Adley Rushman, their top prospect, probably ranked very highly.
And then you look at seriously yawning because this lineup puts me to sleep. Their first starting pitcher, John Means, Matt Harvey, Bruce Zimmerman, Dean Creamer, Jorge Lopez, Who the fuck cares?
All I can do is, this is Leslie Nielsen entering the cockpit going like,